Okay, I also have a video to read. And it's from, let's see, 229, the first of that day, and the Mayan day was 7 seed. Sometimes we journal to discover what we now know that we weren't aware of before. Often, when we awaken in the morning or whenever, we have had more added to us during the night. If we will sit down to journal, we'll often discover something of that. And this is especially so now during the intense acceleration at the Mayan calendar's end and our entrance into the galactic photon belt. Things are definitely speeding up. Well, let's take advantage of that. Let our mind work in consonance with this understanding to be on the alert and watchful for what is new and changing. I am changing, you are changing, so is everyone. Those who know this have the advantage if they will use it. No need to do anything, just be aware. Vision is the work. Seeing is doing. Shortly, we will leave behind us our 3D experiences. We'll tie it all up in a bow of completion and move onward into what we don't yet fully know, but we intuit some of it. We know that our forms will be less dense, the form of our avatar. They are becoming less dense by the day. Are you noticing? The changes that many have pinned to December 21st are happening now, and they have been for some years. It is strange to watch this 12/21 craze and to wonder what's behind it, what motivates it. It is something that has been used as an overlay to get us into fear and anxiety for the most part. And for many, that's working. I hope you are just stubborn enough not to cooperate with that particular matrix that the powers that were seek to impose upon you. It's easy enough to reject it, especially the fear. Just anchor in heart. No fear there, as in never. And process your fear. And Nelia Benz has a really simple fear processing exercise. Her website is ascension101.com. My friends, our current calendar is a farce. It's a total concoction by the powers that were forcibly imposed upon the whole world as they conquered each land and suppressed all the native peoples and their indigenous ways. It's a very sad story, certainly equal to the suppression and abuse of America's native inhabitants. War and conquest is a very old story. Now, here is something to be aware of. We have all done this, taken part in the dark side to enforce its agenda. Please don't play the innocent folks. We've had embodiments on both sides. We've been the natives and we've been those suppressing them. This isn't our only incarnation. You're likely a very old soul. The time for getting rid of all prejudice is now, if not yesterday. And that includes Native Americans too. They carry some heavy prejudice, some of them. We don't need it going any direction. This way, that way, none of it matters. We're all one. Let's get on with it. The finger you point at someone else is also pointing at you. Besides, there being no such thing as an individual, it's time we accept this. The oneness is a big part of your ticket out of 3D. It's in 3D that we have the multiplicity of duality, of separation. We believed in that for a while. If you continue to cling to the sense of separation as being something that's real, you cling to 3D. Is that the direction you're choosing? I bet not. So then, it's time to welcome it, the realization that you are one with that, whatever it is. What you see, what you experience is in reality a part of yourself. There is only one of us down here, and that one is your own self, capital S. So what if the mind doesn't get this? So what, I say, that matters not. Let it go. Launch your boat off from the shore. Let go your moorings. Trust the current to carry you. It's a letting go time of epic proportions. How are you doing with that? Are you flowing along with it? Kismet? Or are you clinging in fear to the bank? To the dock? If so, might I suggest that this journey starts with this one question: who am I? There's no finer starting place for our cosmic journey. Once you start to let go, you'll have lots of fun with it. It won't be so frightening as it is at first. The body itself can have fear, but that's no part of you. You are not that. Let the body be afraid. That is nothing to you if you will only step back from it. Well, be safe, of course. I mean, if the body's in fear because you're standing in the middle of an intersection, be safe first and then check it out. Start with identity. Find it in heart. There's a sort of portal there into the all, into any aspect of it you choose. Sometimes it is chosen for you by your own higher self. Sometimes you are danced. Learn to let go of your stranglehold on the 3D aspects of life. It isn't you. Are you hearing me? Do you sense any fear in yourself? To have the very best ride, the best cosmic journey, process your fear as it turns up. Fear isn't real, but until you can see that for yourself, it has the upper hand over you. One thing is certain, and that's that if you're in fear, then you have no contact with your heart, with your deep center. Fear kicks you out. So deal with all fear. Master it. When we have fear of any kind, it's pointing to where we gave some of our power away. We've let something master us, but that's not quite accurate, for that sets things up as a contest here in Dualityville, and it isn't that. What this gets back to is wrong assumptions around our identity. We think we're something that we're not. That's guaranteed. If you bother to look, you'll find identity at the heart of all fear and maybe all problems entirely. The underlying issue is identity. Find out who you are. Who you really are is the one taking this cosmic journey. All that you've identified with that isn't making the trip. All false identity is going down. It's in process now. That will be rather uncomfortable if you haven't awakened out of it before then. Now is a good time, wouldn't you say? It's time to wake up to the fact that you're in a play, a grand cosmic drama. Your body, your mind, your whole world doesn't really exist. Not like you think it does. That isn't you. That's your avatar and the stage props, the scenery, the setting for the grand drama. in which we've been participating. Pretty soon, at least for us, it will all go poof. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't mean the end of the world. Just as with the end of the Mayan calendar, every end only foretells a new beginning. Let go of all fear. A major ending is a major beginning. Life is cyclical, not linear. Lines begin and end and are forced to go straight or turn at harsh angles. Spirals are smooth flowing and far preferable. We have been in the midst of some very serious changing for several decades now. Recently, things are accelerating so intensely that more and more people are noticing, finally. Though they've been accelerating for some time, it's on a geometric progression of some sort, which just continues to intensify. The Mayan calendar illustrated that very well. Well, expect more of the same and ever increasing intensity. What may happen, and I don't know, I'm just guessing, is that at some certain tipping point, we'll pop out of our 3D environment into that of some higher dimension. Be cleansing. Be really weeding your garden of belief as much as you can, my friends. Let's get that cleaned up. Hold every belief so very lightly. Be ready to be wrong at any instant. Learn to truly go with the flow and not cling to things, nor to understandings. They are changing. Let them change. What we will be taking along is our current beliefs. What we haven't realized while here in 3D is the reality that it's our beliefs that create our whole world. Our personal and collective beliefs are what created the scenery and all of the rest of it. We projected the whole ball of wax, and we weren't able to see this for various reasons that it's not useful to go into here. We won't suddenly lose our beliefs. They form a part of us and are the power by which we create. They form a part of us, and they are the power by which we create. During our recent stay in 3D, it was others who, by using and manipulating those beliefs, brought about the creation they desired for themselves. They weren't creating for us, in other words, but like marionettes, we were working for the powers that were. That's why the world is as it is. Yet now things are in the process of change. So be aware of this. Beliefs create. You are divine. Combine the two and you've got the generative power of creation at work. And that is you. Do what you can to make friends with this picture. See in it the mirror image of self. Keep centering in heart. That will help. Why? Because once free of the limits of 3D, you will likely create your new reality out of the cloth of your current beliefs. Those who cross over in the no mind are those who are in the best shape to experience the new reality more as it is. They won't be imposing their beliefs on it. They're too empty to have any or many. Stick with heart. Of course, mind doesn't get that. So, this detachment period that we've been going through, can you see the very good reason for that? This is the ideal time to shed all unreality. We walk a bit of a balance beam, if not a tightrope with this. So hear me. Balance is absolutely key. Your fulcrum, your point of cosmic balance is in heart. Stick to that and return to it each time you feel off balance in any way. Just stay in heart. That may not make good sense to you now, but if you start practicing it, you'll soon see what is meant. It's not a fairy tale or a mythical place, this kingdom of heart that I talk about. It's very real, not just 3D real. Well, very soon, 3D will no longer be your reality. Parenthetically, it never was, but that's another story than this one. It's time to be making the adjustments to the higher frequencies. And it's nothing you really have to do. It's been doing all this time, all of these years, without your conscious participation. So realize there is nothing you really need do. I keep wanting to say, hear me, with an exclamation point, because I feel some of you still stuck in mind who are not hearing me clearly. You are clinging to the ideas in your head, adding what is said here to that, and thinking you understand. Will you hear me when I say you don't? I doubt it. Not unless you migrate right now into heart. You must listen from there, my friends. I kid you not. Your mind has a 100% chance of misinterpreting or quite misunderstanding what is being said. You've got to let go of that. Okay, so I was saying that there is nothing you need do. Your main activity is simply to be. Yet your consciousness is being changed. New things are entering your awareness. That is great. I want you to look at seeing, at vision itself, as your main activity for the foreseeable future. Only do something when the elephant steps on your foot. Otherwise, stick strictly to being. Truly, it is more, much more powerful than you yet know. So, with your new awareness, your acceptance of the understanding that by belief you create, you are much better prepared to enter the new dimensions ahead, the ones we are transitioning into even now. In them, we will all be much more self-aware due to our new knowledge. You will be more alert to the part your own beliefs will play in what you experience there. I trust you will be joyful and adventurous enough to experiment with changing your beliefs about something or other just to see the change that makes appear before you. See what changes when you change a belief. Be not afraid now or ever. Fear is one of those things to bid a fond adieu to. Yes, fond, for it helped us grow and mature. Fear also helped us wake up. So, on our balance beam, we practice letting things go, but not too fast. No doing here. Remember, the ideal is to be danced. You'll watch things getting done. To others, it will look like you are working, like you are doing. But inside yourself, you'll know the secret. There's no doing at all going on here, only being. That doing is doing itself. Stick to heart. As we are letting things go while maintaining our balance, we are also getting more and more alert if we are inwardly focused. We're newly sensitized to our very own self, especially to what is growing in our garden of belief. We're watching that closely, replanting at any time the new and better plants and flowers we discover. ones that will produce the best fruits and flowers for us. We are crafting our reality, and it all begins here in our garden with our beliefs. So we monitor them closely. All beliefs are generative. They create. Even here and now in 3D, we can see their activity. Sometimes the easiest and quickest way to see this is to change a belief with an eye to what changes in our life. Stick to heart with this. Your best and clearest perceptions occur there. It will at first seem quite subtle to mind, but that's fine. Get out of mind. Heart knows more, and it knows what it is doing here. So just watch for the changes. That's enough. Maybe more than enough, I don't know. It's a time of flow for me again, so I'm going along with that, never knowing where it is leading. Sometimes I can see a wee bit ahead, but not often. Mostly, it's navigating blind, according to mind. But it's not that. It's navigating by heart, the very best way possible, at least here in 3D. Now, I know this is a bit long, but just in case I wasn't really clear, what I'm saying is when we transition, let's just say we move into 5D, it's the beliefs that we hold at the moment we transition that determine what we see and experience there. We don't quit being creators just because we transition out of 3D. We continue to take our ability to create along with us. Good day. Let's take advantage of that. Let our mind work in consonance with this understanding to be on the alert and watchful for what is new and changing. I am changing, you are changing, so is everyone. Those who know this have the advantage if they will use it. No need to do anything, just be aware. Vision is the work. Seeing is doing. Shortly, we will leave behind us our 3D experiences. We'll tie it all up in a bow of completion and move onward into what we don't yet fully know, but we intuit some of it. We know that our forms will be less dense, the form of our avatar. They are becoming less dense by the day. Are you noticing? The changes that many have pinned to December 21st are happening now. Okay, I also have a video to read. And it's from, let's see, 229, the first of that day, and the Mayan day was 7 seed. Sometimes we journal to discover what we now know that we weren't aware of before. Often, when we awaken in the morning or whenever, we have had more added to us during the night. If we will sit down to journal, we'll often discover something of that. And this is especially so now during the intense acceleration at the Mayan calendar's end and our entrance into the galactic photon belt. Things are definitely speeding up. Well, now, and they have been for some years. It is strange to watch this 1221 craze and to wonder what's behind it, what motivates it. It is something that has been used as an overlay to get us into fear and anxiety for the most part. And for many, that's working. I hope you are just stubborn enough not to cooperate with that particular matrix that the powers that were